I've had some of the proposals we've had, like a cutting cabinet. The question is, will that address the question of the middle gap in terms of what we want to achieve and what we are facing as a country as we pass this particular budget? It is very easy for anyone to say cut cabinet and all of that, which is fine. But we have been cutting, even in the austerity budgets that have been implemented. This cutting have been going on. I mean, the cutting will not be new, except...
Now, this is a perfect example of why the ANC will never get back the majority that they lost. The way their leaders, particularly in this example, Fikile Mbalula, how out of touch he is with regard to when the question is being asked as to why are you guys not willing to cut the perks of the ministers? Because you're asking South Africans to pay more in terms of the VAT. So he's defending the VAT and he's defending the perks of the ministers.
In the GNU, we have seen the increase of cabinet, which the intended goal was to decrease the numbers of cabinet members. I was in government. Ministers have been affected by this cut. Blue lights is not money, it's cars. Blue light is just a traffic control measure, and it must not be abused. In government, when I left, government had cut on the expenditure of cars. Ministers used to drive cars in the range of 1 million. It was cut to 500,000, and so on. Perks like what you call credit cards were taken away probably 15 years ago, and they are not there. Flying arrangement, ministers are flying economy. That was cut as well from flying business locally, domestically. You only fly business international. There were cuts from first class to business. Also, if you fly for 10 hours, you're supporting staff in terms of numbers of international trips where you find that departmental staff were flying up and down to different meetings. That was cut. Ministers only approve the most important trips internationally. In terms of household, ministers were not paying. Now, if you own 2 properties, Pretoria and Cape Town, you pay part of where you stay. So these perks people are making noise about, ministers are on a gravy train and all of that. That's not the case. I was there, I saw it myself, and I was traveling economy when I was Minister of Transport. I didn't have a credit card. And the house I was staying in Cape Town was paid for. I didn't have a house in Pretoria. I was staying in my own property in Johannesburg. So this thing of gravy train, the car I was driving was less than $1 million in government that I was driving. Probably the R1 million car that I'm driving is in the ANC. That's where the gravy train is. But when I was minister in government, I didn't, except when I was Minister of Police. And equally, that was the police budget. But most ministers, they had to negotiate backwards because safety for people driving long distances and all of that with these government cars, doing government work, all those considered.
So he's defending the VAT and he's defending the perks of the ministers. And he's dismissing those as if this is nothing. So one thing that the ANC doesn't realize, he doesn't realize anyway, is that a good gesture towards the people and say, hey, here we are, we're asking you guys as a people of South Africa to pay a little bit more in terms of tax, in terms of this VAT. But here's what we're going to do. We as the government that is caring for the people, we as the government that is mindful of what people are going through. We as the government that is in touch with the people of South Africa, here's what we're going to do for you guys. We're going to cut certain perks. We're going to forgo certain luxuries that we get as ministers, you know. And I'm telling you, if they had done that, this would have gone a long way to show the goodwill that they will have with the people. But because these people are out of touch, particularly the ANC, particularly a leader like Fikile Mbalula, some people, they're even bending him around as going to run for the president of the ANC and eventually the president of the country. How is it possible that these people, from where they were brought down to the very depths of humility, they were humbled by the people of South Africa, but they're still behaving as if they got a mandate to govern South Africa? The level of arrogance, the level of lack of humility, and just being out of touch with reality. That's why you hear him speak things like that, like, hey, you know, we've been cutting people, these cuts that people are talking about, they won't make a difference. Sometimes, even if it doesn't make a difference in terms of the billions that is needed, but just the sense to show people of South Africa that you are in touch, you understand what they're going through. So let me know what you think. I believe the ANC will never get back their majority. I know I might be stating the obvious to some people, but perhaps there's people who still believe that the ANC will bounce back and get their majority back. I doubt it. Not with a behavior like this, not with leaders like this who are out of touch, including their Minister of Finance, who went ahead despite everybody telling him that this VAT increase is a bad idea. Every opposition party, they're going to be campaigning of how the ANC doesn't like the people of South Africa, doesn't care about the people of South Africa. They still wanted to increase the burden on the people of South Africa. So let me know what you think about this. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, especially if you think I'm wrong, please be so kind and share your comments. Let's talk about this. Thank you. Bye-bye.